I have a friend who long ago told me this clever thing, which I remember from time to time, which is, it's not what we don't know that hurts us, it's what we do know that's wrong. And it turns out that there's actually quite a bit that we do know that's wrong. Some of the simplest things that we know is, for instance, that the space in this room, not occupied by other people or objects of art, is empty. It turns out that that's completely untrue. We know that the distance between us is finite and definable. And oops, it turns out that's not true either. It turns out that time and space and the world that we move around in every day is not at all the actual world that we exist in. It is the world that our brain has organized for information about that allows us to survive. It's interesting, really interesting actually, that, for instance, the Amazon exists because of 100 million tons of dust that gets blown out of North Africa into the rainforest every year that replenishes the nutrients in the soil. Rainforest in the Amazon exists because of the winds off North Africa that carry millions of tons of dust. And there isn't one thing on the earth that happens that isn't connected to everything else on the earth that's going on. The earth itself is a living organism. And we are not, as the Bible states, the shepherds of this organism. We are an effect of its livingness. We are a cause of nothing. The idea that we are a cause of something, this is an idea we live with every day that turns out to be almost completely wrong. And, I'm going to just make a short and direct segue into what I want to express to you that is a practical and useful thing. What we come to understand, what is emerging out of both the study of quantum physics and the study of the earth and the study of the universe, is that everything is interconnected, and consciousness itself may be the underpinning of all of this phenomenon, on every scale that we are capable of observing. And our own consciousness, the consciousness of human beings, is, an effect of, but, part of a much bigger process. So, the tensions that we walk around with every day tensions that for the most part we are not even really aware of. The resonance that we carry through our day about our hopes and fears. A resonance that's based on, for the most part, on a complete misunderstanding of what we're doing here. I mean, this is another thing. Most people, we have no idea. We have no idea what we're doing here. And it's amazing, it is amazing if you really engage it, this idea, how simple and clear your life is potentially become. The idea is, well, what are we doing here? We are, like every other living organism on the earth, here to grow. We are here to grow. We are here to grow knowledge. We are here to grow wisdom and understanding. Based on that knowledge and wisdom and understanding, we discover our interconnectedness with everything, which compels us to develop kindness and compassion, because we begin to understand that another word for the interconnectedness of the whole and the consciousness which has poured forth all of this, all these sentient beings. I mean, today, sort of, if you read a scientific article or a lot of scientific books on, what you discover is that they believe the universe came out of something that was there when there was nothing, that, randomly blew up and expressed itself in randomness as a bunch of conscious beings. But if we dump all the amino acids in the universe into a big blender and shake it for about 1 trillion years, and we can apply some heat there too if you want, do you ever think that you'll get life out of that? Just sort of accidentally happened? That seems pretty weird to think like that. Statistically, the probabilities, which quantum physics is using very effectively to develop technology, the probabilities that if you put all the amino acids that we are comprised of in a jar and shook it for 1 trillion years, that life would turn out is actually, it's a number that if you wrote a digit every second, it would take you longer than 30,000 years to write the whole number. We're in this world to grow. But moving forward in this talk, because we don't have all night, I want to say to you that if you could begin to simply feel into yourself, feel your body, feel your breath, feel into the life, the energy, the life living, I want to say, energy that you are. And in the process of this feeling, try to let go of every tension that you can think of, every hope, every fear, every want, every need. Just feel into the livingness that you are. I mean, have you ever for a little bit tried to feel what it feels like to breathe? It actually feels really amazing just to breathe. And if you felt what it feels like to breathe until you felt into your breath deeply enough that you could feel what is breathing your breath, that's even more amazing. And to dissolve these tensions and become in connection and awareness with the fundamental resonance, the refinement, and the potential which you are an embodiment of at this moment, if you could come in contact with that and hold it for just a little bit, the upsurge of positivity, if is the word that comes to me, the upsurge of joy that you begin to feel as your baseline in your daily life begins to totally transform the whole field of your experience in such an amazing, wonderful, mind-boggling, in so many mind-boggling ways. Just unbelievable. And there are more and more layers of that story. The world is an insane asylum. I like to read the news. In my life, I have spent some periods of being very politically active. I'm like totally passionate about economic justice and civil rights. I think about what an authentically sustainable community might be like. A lot, because of course I've been living in a community for my entire life. All of us have to go out every day and confront so many injustices and so many tensions and so much insanity. But the thing we can't do is let that insanity and those injustices capture our awareness to the degree that we are locked in conflict with that crap. Because the one thing that we see over and over and over again is whatever it is we hate is what we become. Look at what happened in Russia in 1917 or in China in the 40s, and I can go on. It's so important for each of us and for the future of, not the planet's going to be fine, the future of people, that we, and our own future, of course, that we free ourselves from our tensions and begin to feel into the fundamental abundance, the fundamental creativity, the fundamental, power that pervades this body. And discovering that and its complete interconnectedness allow that experience to transform our world without ever being undermined by all the stupid sort of assumptions, all the stupid things that we think we know that are wrong. I saw a quote this morning by my friend David Eastman from my Bloomington days, posted on Facebook, which was a quote by Suzuki Roshi. And Suzuki Roshi was a really close friend of Rudy's, who I didn't know personally, but I was very close friends with his disciple who took over Zen Center when he died. And Suzuki Roshi said, "I have come to the conclusion that it is absolutely necessary that I believe in nothing." Yay! That's because everything human beings have ever believed has turned out to be wrong. Let's free ourselves from all these wrong opinions and wrong assumptions based on nothing but tension and the conditioning, the unfortunate conditioning that most of us experienced, in our family systems. And let's begin to, in freeing ourselves, be open, recognize the interconnectedness of our world, and in so doing, open our hearts to all those things that we're mad about, and all those people that we're mad at, and all the circumstances that we're upset by, and begin to try in our own way to live joyfully within the circumstances that is our real life every day, and bring to that real life, our life every day, a little bit more of our own inner abundance, which will slowly start to unlock the tensions in us and the tensions in the world around us, and allow for a very much stronger flow which heals our hearts and bodies and minds and heals the whole fabric of our world. I know it's tricky, and I can hear a whole bunch of but going on in the room. No buts. Let's do it. Namaste.